Hey everyone, this is the ShutInBakas. My name is Chris. Today I'm very conflicted about the ending of Higurashi When They Cry Sotsu. I'm not sure if I'm happy or disappointed with this ending, and my feelings are extremely conflicted. So, this is a full spoiler warning. I'm going to be talking about everything that I noticed in the last episode, so go watch the series if you haven't, or watch this episode if you haven't, etc. So let's get into it. So it starts off where the end of the 14th episode ended, where, Rika was about to strike down Satoko, and Iwa was about to, hit Hanyu or something. It was a bit of a weird situation. She was just kind of floating there. But, yeah, essentially, it all just kind of came down to Rika didn't kill Satoko, which I thought was going to happen, let's be real. She wouldn't have the guts to do that. And then Iwa, kind of got her shit kicked by Hanyu after her beating up her. It kind of got very Naruto and Dragon Ball style at the end, with the whole, Rika punching and Satoko punching each other. It was very Naruto Shippuden, between Naruto and Sasuke. It was almost to a T what that kind of was. And it was pretty hilarious to me in that regard. I know it wasn't meant to be, but, seriously, they couldn't have thought of a better, more fitting way to end a show like this, but whatever. And, of course, the ending between Iwa and Hanyu was just basically Hanyu got the sword and didn't kill her, but, I don't know what to call her, really. She kind of took away Iwa's powers, I guess, to the same extent that Hanyu had. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, but so yeah, that happened, and it was just very strange. And I have now figured out what this series is. This isn't really a continuation of Higurashi When They Cry. It's more of a fan love project. If it was done wrong. I'm being kind of harsh, but that's because this series didn't live up to the name. It didn't, and I think they changed way too much in almost every respect that made the original series what was special about it, such as the mystery and the horror. Those were the things of the original series that everyone was interested in. This season was all just kind of messing around to the point of, ruining characters. You ruined Satoko's character for this entire season, to be honest. And yeah, it was such a strange turn of events, because they kind of just skimmed over this last arc really quickly, and I didn't like that at all. And, I understand why there wasn't really much else to tell, but I feel like they could have just drug it out for, 24 episodes and actually made, a season that meant something, because at the end of the day, it just kind of ended with everything kind of returning to normal, in a sense. So at the end of the season, Rika's going off to St. Louis, or whatever it's called, to go and do her studying. Satoko is staying in Hinamizawa because they have realised that while they're friends and they want to be together, that's not what's going to be happening, because their ideals are totally different, they're different people. And I've noticed that this story is essentially just literally a Friends story. Not the Friends TV show story, but as in, two friends going through problems. I feel like this is probably something like the director or writer has gone through, because I can't imagine this was, just shoved together last minute. It doesn't seem like it, because, honestly, I get it. This whole story does speak volumes to people, and somewhat myself, but not entirely, considering I haven't had enough life experience yet to go through this sort of thing. But yeah, honestly, the whole thing about two very close friends moving away from each other, and this took that concept to the very extreme. And I don't think they did it in a good way, because this story could have existed without Higurashi in it. And, honestly, yes, it did add some, shock factor with the whole Satoko thing. But I just think they ruined the characters in a sense. Like, obviously Keiichi, Mion Rena, all that stuff, they stayed the same because they didn't really have any input on this new series at all. Rika kind of stayed the same, sort of. She got a bit more aggressive at the end, which makes sense because she, had to get aggressive at Satoko because, if she didn't, she would just be stuck in that endless loop of dying at her hands forever. And Satoko just kind of lost it. I think Satoko used to be one of my favourite characters just because she was just one of those characters that you felt really bad for. But now you don't. Now you just think, alright, well, she did that. She killed people for hundreds of years. Killed Rika and, 100 different times. And yeah, there's no redeeming that. And I'm glad they didn't try to redeem her in that sense. They just kind of said, okay, we have to move on. Because they couldn't redeem Satoko for what she's done. She has done way too much in this series to be redeemed at this point. So I'm glad they didn't bother. I'm a bit upset that they ended it the way they did. They basically ended it with both of them having their powers still. Rika going off to St. Louis, Satoko staying in Hinamizawa, and just that's it. And they basically said something along the lines of, we're loopers and no matter what, we'll be fated to meet again, we'll live forever, and we'll eventually, come across each other again. And I thought that was kind of stupid in a way, because, I just really wanted this series, overall, to do a full universe reset. I know that's kind of would be kind of disappointing to people, because we'd go from all of this stuff that's happened in the past being null void, but I think it would have been the best way to end this series, because if, say, I don't know, Hanyu got her powers back fully, because it's obvious that she's lost her powers, so she could get them back if, I don't know, maybe something happened, but if that happened, and Hanyu was able to reset the universe to where nothing had ever happened, and everyone was just happy, and, it was just a perfect world, where nothing bad would happen, I think that would have been a better option than where they ended it, because it's kind of an open-ended ending, but not really at the same time. It's kind of like, oh, so this could happen, but it won't. But it will happen, but there's nothing to show. It's just very strange. And I'm not sure exactly how I feel about the whole thing. It's such a strange I've never actually felt this way about a ending in Higurashi before, because everything else in the past has been very, clear cut and dry. It's just been, okay, we beat the loop, we won. That was the Kai ending. The Rei ending was, okay, I beat this world with determination to live a imperfect life. Go was just kind of like, the prequel to Sotsu, and now Sotsu is just kind of like, it doesn't end anything really, it just kind of hints at more could come, but it won't. I can't imagine anything more from Higurashi will come out. I think this is the end of Higurashi. We'll never see any Higurashi anime again, I feel, unless they decide to remake the original for real this time. I can't imagine they can add anything to this, because this was so strange. I know I'm repeating myself so many times, but I'm just trying to wrap my head around it in real time for you, that I can't understand why they would end it like this, because the fact that they ended it like this means that technically something new could come along, like Iua could come back, because she left in this episode. She didn't die, she just left. She could come back and try and wreak havoc again, and then Sadako and Rika have to save the day, but then that would just become a shonen anime. That's not what makes Higurashi interesting. Sure, half of it is the characters. But let's be real, we're not really here for the characters in some regard. We're here for mainly the story and the shock factor of the horror, I don't know how they're going to manage it. I'm still going to say this was part of the canon. I'll say it's a part of the canon because technically, yes, everything links together, more or less. It's just kind of like, I know this is, the bad Batman quote, you either live long enough to see yourself become the villain or die a hero, bloody blah. But in this regard, Higurashi has kind of done that in a regard, because they have gone full circle to the point of not being what they were. And I don't know if that's down to the actors, not the actors, sorry, the directors and the writers being different. I'm almost certain they are. And I can almost guarantee, I haven't found anything specifically to, tell you if this is 100% factual, but I can almost guarantee you that this is not a part of the light novels at all. So this is like 100% original story for the Higurashi series. So I'm not really sure why this had to be made, honestly. It's just a pain to have to sit through this, to be honest. I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed watching the show, I enjoyed watching the Nipas and the wah-ha-has and all that jazz. But honestly, this series didn't need to happen. This series didn't need to exist, and I would have been happy with it. I mean, if it was an actual remake of the original series, sure, I would have enjoyed it, but this kind of just left a sour taste in my mouth, along with, the hopes of maybe it getting more in the series. So yes, anyway, end result is, I'm disappointed and happy with this ending all at the same time. It's a very strange situation, and I'm not sure how I'll feel about it. You'll have to come back to me in a week or so. By that time I should have, got my opinions sorted. But this was an episode 15 preview, it wasn't like a full season review, so I'll have to come back and do one of those later. And yeah, that's about it really. I'm sorry for the kind of jambled video this time. I've been a bit out of the loop recently, and this episode did not help that. So I'll be doing a video on a different series coming very soon that helps me through some rough patches. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Please hit the like button if you liked the video, dislike it if you didn't, subscribe if you're new to the channel, hit the bell button if you want to know when we're uploading, follow me on Twitter @ShutInBakas, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.